All right, Sanctuary City, San Francisco says it will not respond to an ICE detainer for an illegal, now being called the rideshare rapist, for allegedly posing as a Lyft driver to rape 4 women.
These assaults were violent rapes committed by a serial rapist, a sexual deviant predator who was not going to stop until he was caught.
ICE is now calling out the city's sanctuary policy, saying, quote, the San Francisco jail does not honor ICE detainers nor notify ICE about the impending release of aliens in its custody. In doing so, the jail not only provides a refuge for illegal aliens, but also shields criminal aliens who prey on people in the community. Tonight's panel here to weigh in, Fox News contributor Leslie Marshall and radio host on WMAL, Larry O'Connor. Great to have you guys back and reunited this Wednesday.
Shannon. Hi, Leslie.
Hi, Shannon. Hi.
Okay, so Leslie, what do you make of this? I mean, the state is obviously, and a number of the localities there in California have made it a point to say they will not cooperate with ICE. They disagree with how its mission is being carried out.
Well, there are a couple of things. First of all, in San Francisco, it's really more so about funds and not alienating the undocumented community, of which there are many certainly here in the state, with helping law enforcement. Secondly, this alleged rapist did not commit any crimes prior to this that we know of. There's no rap sheet, wasn't in through the system before. And third, he's in prison. He's being held on over $4 million bail. He's not going anywhere. He's where I believe he should be and not be sent anywhere, quite frankly, where he could possibly harm another individual, even if it's in another country outside of our borders.
Okay, Larry, I want to read something that comes from the San Francisco Office of Civic and feel comfortable calling the police and fire departments during emergencies.
Yeah, I've interviewed many sheriffs and many members of the law enforcement community. They think that that's really a non-issue. There isn't a problem with people who are undocumented calling and reporting crimes. That's raised as a scare tactic. The fact of the matter is the victims of violent crimes at the hands of illegal immigrants in this country are vastly in the immigrant community. If you really care about the health and well-being of Latinos and other immigrants in this country, if you don't want them to be victims of these violent criminals, then you really need to be tough on enforcing all of our laws. You can't have it two ways. You can't say, oh, well, this guy is now behind bars and he's going to stay there, but these other guys who maybe got picked up for shoplifting or for these petty crimes, we'll go ahead and let them back into the community and not have them face deportation. You ask anyone in law enforcement and they'll tell you that if they're doing petty crimes, they are more likely to move on to a bigger crime. The victims of these crimes are members of the immigrant community. We should actually care about those victims.
Okay, so while California, and they continue to have a number of legal battles about their sanctuary state policies and other things that are going on there, that's not going to be over anytime soon. But in San Francisco, they're now also talking about letting people who are non-citizens and those who are here illegally vote in specific races, including school board races. Leslie, what do you make of that?
Well, first of all, I do feel that it is a privilege that we have as citizens to be able to vote. But as a parent who has 2 children here in California in the school system, I very much feel that parents need to be involved. And this is an area where we have seen, quite frankly, abuse, if you're speaking of those in the Latino community, of undocumented immigrants' children who have, unfortunately, have been victimized by some predators that have been in the system, and their parents and the children feel that they have no voice because they must remain invisible because they're frightened of deportation. I do feel that parents should have a say with not just curriculum, but with other choices in the school system. So I would say when it comes to the school board and the school officials, I am in favor of it, but not voting for any other reason other than have input in their children's education.
Based on what principle and value do you draw that line? I mean, most of the funding for those schools comes from the federal government or from the state government. So based on the principles and values that you just laid forth, Leslie, those same undocumented immigrants should be able to vote for president, should be able to vote for Congress, should be able to vote for Senate, should be able to vote for governor.
That's not what I said.
Well, you said that they should have a say in what happens in their schools, and those schools are funded from those avenues. Here's the thing. This is an insult to every single person who has gone through the arduous and patriotic process of becoming a legal citizen. And when those of us who are concerned about our immigration policies in this country and what Democrats want to do with open borders, when we say, you know, you're only interested in getting their votes and getting this new block of people to come in here and vote, we're told that we're crazy. No, that's not what it is. And then the next thing you know, you're trying to give the vote to people who are here in this country illegally. It's an outrage.
Well, let me ask you, though, Larry. San Francisco Supervisor Hillary Ronen says this is a no-brainer. Why would we not want our parents invested in the education of their children?
My response is the same. Okay, why do you draw the line there? They should vote for mayor. They should vote for county. They should vote for state. They should vote for federal government. It's ridiculous. If you're living in this country, apparently you have some kind of vested interest in what your elected officials are doing. So why not give them the vote across the board? If you're making this decision based on principle, I don't understand the principle being employed here that yes, you can only vote for school board, but nothing else.
Quick final word, Leslie. We got to go.
I would just say that, Larry, you're talking about taxes, federal and state, that undocumented workers pay into. In addition to that, you're talking about other funding that comes for schools here in the LA Unified School
You're
District.
right. Give them the
whether it's a
vote.
bake sale. I say if they're paying their fair share and they're working out there to make the schools better for their children, they deserve to have a voice.
There you go. They'll have the vote to president. Absolutely. Makes sense.
Okay. All right. Hey, Leslie, you won him over. That didn't take long.
Oh, no, I don't agree, but at least she's being consistent now.
All right, Leslie and Larry, great to have you guys. See you soon.
Thanks.
Good to be.